110. Okay, the recording is also started. Just take 1 minute, and on top where you see the live, there is a, at the end there is a number of people in the webinar. We'll start now. The people will join in as we progress. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good day to all of you. Today, we do the second episode of season 6. My name is Ashfaq Ahmed. I'm the anchor of PMI Chapter Exchange and also the Vice President of PMI Mumbai Chapter. Before we begin, we'd like to acknowledge the current volunteers for this exchange program. Tao, you want to just do a quick hi to the members?
Hi everyone, welcome to this episode, this event, and good evening, good afternoon, and good morning
From Taiwan.
from
Priscilla.
Taiwan. Yeah.
Priscilla.
Hello, welcome. It's morning here. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning.
From Brazil.
Yeah, São Paulo.
Paulo. Then we have Amod. You want to introduce yourself? Renga.
Yeah, happy to see you all here. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. We have some of our members are not well or not able to join today, but we will continue with this session. So, Ranga, you want to go to the next slide? Yeah. Before we begin, I wanted to take a moment and appreciate our volunteers from our chapter, and also a part of the International Women's Day. Ranga, go to the next slide. These are our international women from who are contributing towards the chapter's volunteering activity. Anita from Poland. Next. This is Anita from India. Then this Hiral from Gujarat, India. And this is Priscilla from Sao Paulo. Okay. So starting with our event today, I want you to quickly run you through the number of events that we have planned for this year, for 2025. We are on the second episode, and we have another 10 plus episodes, another till 10 episodes lined up for this activity with the panelist identified. So this will go on. So as we progress, you will get to hear more about those events, and we would like to see you in larger numbers. Go to the next slide, Ranga. Yeah. Welcome to the PMI Chapter Exchange, Event 6, Season 6, Event 2, that is shifting to hybrid methodologies. Today we have PMI friends from around 37 different chapters from across the globe, North America, Latin America, Europe, Africa, and Asia, plus many more. I have 2 more supporting chapters waiting to onboard. And so this is an ongoing activity, and this is the 6th year. So before we close this session, we will share or flash the registration link for our next event, which is happening on 18th of April. So please wait to get an easy early access to the link. To the exchange effect, can I please ask Priscilla to take it forward?
Sure, thank you, Ahmed. So we are pleased to announce that we have more than 1,800 registrations from 50 countries, from Alaska to New Zealand and all countries and continents in between. Thank you all so much for attending this event today. Next, please. Thank you. Let's keep saying hello to each other and networking. And as this event begins, you can update your profile in our Meet with your LinkedIn details and connect with fellow attendees. It is important to say that this meeting is being recorded. So if you feel uncomfortable in any way, you can choose not to attend. Otherwise, you are welcome to continue. At this event, we are speaking in our individual capacities, and our opinions do not reflect the views of our organizations. Next one, please. As in past events, we are having today our attendee spotlight section, so you can also be spotlighted. To participate, share an interesting quote or comment on this event's topic using the chat window. The best quote will be chosen by our team, and in the end of the session, it will be spotlighted along with the author's name. Thank you.
Just a quick snapshot about our chapter exchange program. We still go with the theme, one team, one song, one dance. We have 37 partnering chapters and many supporting chapters on this program representing all regions that PMI is in today. We recently added Bangalore chapter, and this month we have introducing Belgium chapter. We are also in discussion with 2 other chapters to onboard them soon. PMI Chapter Exchange is a virtual community of chapter leaders, a community that transcends across countries, continents, and culture. Our vision is to evangelize cross-cultural collaboration and encourage cultural diversity. It is also about teamwork, co-creating monthly events to bring diverse perspective to our chapter members, spurring networking and collaboration opportunities. And by doing this, we bring a community to share good practices within and external to the program. That is why you will notice chapters from diverse backgrounds participating in this program, because we truly believe diverse connection leads to innovative solution. May I hand over to Priscilla to introduce our keynote speaker, please?
Sure. So it's my pleasure to present our speaker of the day, Biren Parekh. Biren is an award-winning strategic BFSI leader with over 27 years of global experience. His experience spans across complex digital transformation and implementation programs across retail and corporate banking, as well as the data lakehouse domain. He enjoys talking about project leadership, fintech, and digital transformation, and has delivered more than 70 plus talks in public domain. In addition to being an author, he's also a marathoner, a certified independent director, an equity angel investor, and an adventure sports enthusiast. Wow. And an active PMI volunteer. His several podcasts and interviews have been published in the social media. Biren, we are excited to hear you. Thank you for being with us. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Priscilla, for the wonderful introduction, and thanks a lot. Welcome all. And yeah, so Priscilla has given the introduction. Only I would like to add is that I have an authored book called Supercharge Your Project Management Skills, and it lists down my personal experience from the project management experience, and it is very helpful. Yeah, so I have been associated with the PMI South Asia Champion Program, and whoever is there in the South Asia region can join the PMI South Asia Champion Program as a volunteer. Yeah, that's all. Rest I think has been covered by Priscilla and has been mentioned. Thank you.
Biren, the stage is yours for the keynote session.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, can we move to the slide? Okay, so Priscilla has already mentioned that views mentioned are personal views and do not represent my employer's view by any means, and no confidential information has been shared in the subsequent slides. Can we move to next slide, please? Okay, so today's topic is about hybrid methodologies, and hence we want to just give you a context about hybrid methodologies. As we all know that the traditional project management methodologies are listed over here, and most of us would have used one or other method. Primarily, waterfall is very popular, and all of us would have used it. Next. And on other side is the, I'll say, new age methodology, which is a more of a agile methodology, which is a Scrum, Lean, and Kanban, all those technologies, methodologies, and which we have time to time we have used it. Can we move to next slide? Yeah, so we talk about today hybrid project management. So we know that hybrid project management is whereby we want to combine two methods. So we have seen one which is a traditional and one which is a agile. So hybrid project management is whereby we combine this methodology and try to gain some advantage or some benefit compared to using it on a standalone manner. Can we move to next one? So one question will come is that why hybrid project management? Right. So one thing which has been noticed is that now, or rather it is sort of a proven, is that when you are having a complex project, then it becomes a lot more difficult to execute it within time, scope, and budget. And that's where traditional methods sort of gives a jittery to all the stakeholders. Whereas if you go for a hybrid approach, whereby you use the multiple methodology, then it helps you to adopt to the customers or business requirement. It helps you to deliver uh, at least faster, or deliver it, at least it helps you to deliver some business value in the incremental manner. And there is also a survey which says that now if you try to use the hybrid project management methodology, then there are high chances, that is by 28% more chances, that now your project will succeed. Anyway, the project success ratio is not 100%, as we all know. But when we use a hybrid, then there is a quite more chance that now it will succeed and it will meet the customers or maybe a client's requirement. Next one. Next slide, please. As per PMI report of 2023, it has been noticed that now hybrid is much preferred project management methodology, and agile is there, but comparatively hybrid is much preferred over the time. So while this report is as of 23, but as of 24, it has been found that it is like more than 50% is a hybrid project management is preferred. Next slide. As per Antonio, he had done one survey recently last year with selected. Please, next slide, please. Yeah, so he had done one survey with project managers and delivery directors, and as per that, he had shared the survey result whereby it says that now 89% of managers are using the mix of methodologies, and only very single digit percent or 6% are using the waterfall. So while this number will be just a random sampling or maybe a limited sampling of project managers across the world, but still this gives an idea that now the amount of gap which is there between the hybrid and the waterfall is a huge. Next slide. So one question will come is that how to blend the methodologies, right? So I mean, which methodologies to use and how to blend it. So that's where go to next slide, please. So it is like something like this. You try to use what is beneficial to you or what is required for a particular project and try to use that. Go to next slide, please. Yeah, so it says that absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and then maybe you tailor it to your requirement. So to some extent, I mean, this represent what is a hybrid project management. Okay, next slide, please. So how do you find which technologies or which methodology to use it, okay, to have a hybrid project management? So there are multiple, I mean, there are several factors or several parameters which one needs to consider, but we'll just consider these 2 or 3 parameters. One is that now project size. So for example, if the project is going to be executed over the multiple years, multi-year project is there, then obviously no one wants to wait till end of the project cycle to see that whether project is whether it's delivering the required outcome or not. And hence, if project size is large, then people will prefer that we try to deliver in the incremental manner and try to see that if we can just combine some of the methodology and deliver it in a shorter time frame. Similarly, one also has to see that whether technology supports or not, right? So technology and modularity. So whether are you able to deliver the project in small modules and then maybe combine it at the end of it and try to see whether the technology supports or not. So that is again a second parameter. And obviously the third one is a maturity, whereby whether the project management methodology as well as the kind of a project which is there, whether it is supporting or is mature enough now to take it in the hybrid manner. So those three are, I'll say, the main factors which are there. And obviously one also has to consider that whether what will be the cost of error in case if you are executing in hybrid manner, then what can be the cost of error, whether rework is allowed or not, whether rework is supported or not. So all those things comes into picture when you are trying to find a optimal methodology which you want to blend it and maybe use it for your projects. Next slide, please. So there are different flavors of the project management, hybrid project management, and yeah, next slide, please. So primarily we know that we have been using the waterfall in the traditional model. That is a majority have been using it since quite some time. Next slide, please. Right. So at high level waterfall, we know that what are the benefits. It is sequential. I mean, it requires a lot of documentation and it requires a lot of planning, right? And on the other side, agile, which is more adaptable and iterative. It does not require that high documentation. It is like sort of just-in-time documentation which can be taken. Right? So that is why waterfall and agile is most popular, I'll say, a hybrid project management methodology. Next slide, please. And that is where hybrid agile comes into picture. So there are different names for it. Some calls it Vagile, or some calls it waterfall agile, or some calls it hybrid agile. So, but this is a sort of a hybrid agile which comes into picture. Why it is used? Because it has some benefits like, now you can tailor it to your requirement, right? So if you have, say, 1 year project, and if you want to maybe combine both waterfall and agile, then you will try to maybe have a release every 2 months, every 3 months, and try to deliver it in this 3 months release into a sprint manner, and then maybe deliver everything at the end of a year or whatever, 2 year at the end of the project. So that is one benefit of using the hybrid agile. Other thing is that many organizations are using the waterfall methodology. So if they want to transit to agile, that will be a sort of a very steep task. So some organizations tries to follow the hybrid agile as an intermediate step, so that now team gets used to agile to some extent, and then maybe they will transition to agile. So that is again another advantage of using the hybrid agile. Also, when you are using the hybrid agile, the risk will get reduced. So in case of waterfall methodology, we know that now the risk is much higher. If there is any change request, then it is going to cost a lot. And because of that, waterfall is not that much preferred. But when you're using this hybrid agile, you have higher chances of delivering it, taking a feedback at a shorter interval, and try to do a course correction and mitigate risk to some extent. So that is again another advantage of using hybrid agile. So this is one of the most preferred hybrid agile is a hybrid project management methodology. Yeah, can we go to next one? Yeah, so second is a Scrum and Kanban. So that is again sort of a Scrum, agile, we have the sprint kind of a methodology. In Kanban, we know it is like a visualization or visual kind of a board which we prepare, and then we move the tickets or maybe move the work or task from to be done to WIP and then done kind of a thing, right? So even some organizations are going for this Scrum and Kanban now as a hybrid method, and that's also they are following. Can we just go to next one? Yeah. So basically that is Scrum and Kanban. And so those are the two major, I'll say that hybrid project management methodology which are being used. Next one, please. And that is the last one. Yeah, so that normally helps. In terms of now having the more flexibility because it is a visual board which is there in the Kanban. It gives an enhanced transparency. It also gives you a visual idea about now where do we stand. So Scrum Ban is again another methodology which is used as a hybrid project management methodology. Yeah, so these are the two things which I just wanted to cover to give you an idea, so that now we can set the context for the today's panel discussion. Yeah, that's all. Next slide. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Viren. It was really nice. Exciting to hear you. And I am sure that we will get to hear you more during the panel discussion because you are a moderator for the day today. And
Sure.
let
Thank
me
you.
just confirm if we have someone from the Belgium chapter. Is Anja there? Just a minute, just hold on, Rangaraj. I want to confirm if she's around because she was there a few minutes ago and she dropped. Amut, can you confirm if she's around?
I think because of network, she might have got dropped. Maybe.
Yeah, that is what. So I think what we will do is we'll directly go to the panel discussion. She's not around. Maybe we can do the yeah. We can do the spotlight chapter after the panel discussion. So Biren, you have 10 minutes less for the panel discussion.
Okay.
So
Excuse me, Ahmed. I see that Anya is back.
is she there? Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Good.
she said.
Very good. Okay. Anja, can we see you on screen? Can you switch on your camera, please? Anja, can we see you on camera? I can't see. Is she online? She says, I am in. Amod, can you put her on stage, please? While he does that, I will just do a quick introduction of Anja. Anja is a passionate PMO consultant manager whose prime focus is project management. She excels in simplifying complex processes into easily digestible one pages, ensuring clarity and understanding for all stakeholders. Anja is dedicated to coaching and guiding project managers to effectively utilize existing processes, emphasizing practical applications and hands on support. She believes in making learning enjoyable and approachable, incorporating laughter and deep breathing exercise into training sessions to reduce stress and foster team connection. I want to read that again. She believes in making learning enjoyable and approachable, incorporating laughter and deep breathing exercise into training sessions to reduce stress and foster team connections. Anjal's expertise extends to various tools like PlanView, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, providing comprehensive coaching to enhance productivity. Beyond her project management skills, Anja has unique ability to connect with people and bring laughter, which showcases her versatility and dynamic presence as a laughter ambassador. So I would like to hear her more. Okay. Anja's commitment to creating a positive and energized work environment through laughter continues to inspire and delight people and companies worldwide. Anja, are you there? We'd like to hear you more.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
I'm not able to see you. Where's the? Yeah. Your video is.
Right.
Your video is. Wait, Rangaraj. Your video is off, is it?
Now my video is on.
Okay, I'm not able. Oh yeah, we can see you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for the introduction and for the great speech. Indeed, my mission is to combine project management and the laughter world together. But here I am to present and introduce the PMI Belgium chapter to this wonderful exchange program. So if you can go to the next slide, then I can easily introduce the PMI Belgium chapter. Next slide. Yeah, next one. So how did we start? Well, we started with the Benelux chapter in the early 90s. Can you go back? Because this is all the decisions. Yeah, okay. It's, yeah. We started, we do online events. We created, in 2001, we separated from the Netherlands. We created the Belgium Benelux chapter. And we have a national congress in things. We organize our activities around members, activities. Yeah, I lost. Okay, so this is July. This is our history, how we became the PMI Belgium chapter. In 2023, we celebrated our 25th anniversary. And if we go to the next slide, then we can see all the activities that we do inside the chapter. And next slide. Yeah. So we do a lot of educational, academic, and outreach towards schools, the VDAB for the unemployed. We do events in person and online with sister organization, the business analyst, with industrial areas like the pharmaceutical industry, the construction area. We have a mentor, a growth program to combine and to connect mentors and mentees together to go for a career development in project management to help them with their certification. We reach to our members thanks to the newsletters, the LinkedIn and the Facebook pages. We are now around 800 members in Belgium, and we are very proud. And we have about 30, 40 active volunteers who are helping us with all the organization, with all the events that we do. Yeah. Next slide. So we have events in persons. Yeah. In 2024, when I became the president, my aim was to build a home for our members, to put our members in the spotlight, to connect with the members who seek assistance in the project management, to share best practices, and to ensure, to inspire, and to empower our members with high quality workshops and easy takeaways to put into practice. 2025, we're going from home to more, because home was the place to be connected. With the home, can you go to the next slide? Yep, there we're going for more, and more means not only more projects, but manage your knowledge, create opportunities like this one to connect together, build relationships, strong relationship with other chapters, and embrace your potential. Whatever you have in you, in your talent, you can embrace it and you can unlock it. And that's what we are aiming with the 2025 strategy in Belgium, is we going from home to more. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, in 2000, this year, I created the community of women in project management. Just not only one event, but a very strong community to empower and inspire and connect women in project management. We have a weekly ladies talk on Wednesday at lunchtime. We have a WhatsApp group with the women in project management. It's already international, so I invite all the women to join this community, because we are going to organize events, webinars on different topics related to help the woman to grow in project management, in the leadership, in every skills that they need to be great project managers. Yeah, next slide. Here you see a snapshot from what we did on the International Women's Day. We had a workshop on communication. We had a workshop on the Ayurveda philosophy. And of course, we had a laughter session, because as a laughter ambassador, I cannot go without a laughter. And one day, laugh is keeping the doctor away. And yeah, this is also my mission, to connect the project management and the laughter world together with easy exercises to show the project manager that by laughing, they can reduce their stress, they can increase their immunity, and they can be stronger, and they can, yeah, elevate whatever stress issues they have. And I know that this is probably my last slide. Next. Yeah. So I'm going to thank everyone with a simple exercise. Put your fist like this, and we do ha, 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 I wish you all the best and hope to see you and connect with you all in the next events what we can do together.
Thank you, Anja.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that laughter exercise. I will not forget that. So moving on to the next segment of the session is the panel discussion. Um, Biren, I want to give it to you to take it forward.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Biren. Yeah.
Yeah, so do we want to introduce all the panelists?
Now you can do a round robin, and because we have already done an introduction of you, so you can now ask the panelists on the next screen to introduce themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Iqbal, you want to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah.
Hello. Thank you, Ashfaq. Yes, I am Iqbal Choudhury. I am serving PMI Bangladesh chapter since 2020. From 2023 and 24, so 22 and 23, I was board director, and since 24, I'm involved as a chapter president. So in my professional life, I'm a personal consultant. I'm only a personal consultancy firm for civil and engineering projects, and also I'm involved in IFC World Bank Group as the resident building specialist. So having 20 years experience in project management construction engineering sector, and also in 7 years experience in climate mitigation sector. So I did MBA long back, and I have certification in PMP, PMI-SAC, and PMI-SAC. These are about myself. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Joanna Adamska. I'm from Poland chapter. Actually, I work in a code lab company as head of PMO. It is the company from the IT sector, mostly for the automotive and industry and enterprise applications. For the last more than 1 year, I have a pleasure to be a chapter president for PMI Poland chapter. And during my free time, I'm a university lecturer. Regarding experience, it's 15 plus years in project management and 10 plus years as a volunteer. So, welcome.
Great. Thanks, Joanna. Yeah. Hi, Maru. Can you please introduce yourself? Hello, Maru.
Hello. Yes. Hello, I am Maru Gonzalez from Mexico. I am a co-founder and volunteer to a PMI Bajío, Mexico, and in general, some different initiatives, international initiatives of PMI. I have some years, a lot of years, working in project management in different industries. I'm director of Avanza, a consultancy firm specialized in project management. I like to write a lot about leadership and project management too. And I have some, I love to learn. For the reason I have some different certification, PMI certification and other certifications. And I had the opportunity to be part of LIMC 19. It's a great program for of PMI to develop leadership. And I'm here, so glad to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, hi, Michelle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle. I'm from Taiwan chapter as well as Queensland chapter. I'm currently working in the government as a reporting analyst. So I help projects to understand where the gaps are and just make sure the sponsors and executives are happy. So I'm looking after halal reports. And also I'm specialized in project management training and assurance. So I assist the projects to analyze their documents and to find out if they need more support from me or our project management office. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, hi, Olivia.
Hi, hello everyone. So I'm Olivia. I'm representing the PMI Cameroon chapter, but overall I'm representing Mama Africa. Okay. So I'm a project manager, project management consultations with my agency Solutioners. But I also do consultations on meals, so the whole life cycle of the project. So I specialize in conceiving projects, so grant writing, raising funds. I raised over $2-3 million in in grant writing, but also in the planning, robust planning, in executing, in monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning. That's also one specialty I've gotten into, and in the closing of projects. So um, in reporting, but not just reporting, but planning sustainability plans for projects to live beyond funders, beyond development funding. So I've been in this for 15 years in project management for international development organizations on the continent, US Department of State, European Union, European Investment Bank, AFD, EF, Expertise France, GIZ, CUSO. So essentially, I've been working a lot more on development projects on the ground, and also in the tech talent innovation ecosystem here in Africa. Um, Another part of my hat is working on teaching on leadership, management, and innovation for different managers, women, students in over 12 countries in Africa. So I am a PMI, PMP, and I'm also a graduate of the Johns Hopkins University in the US. So I'm very happy to be here and to represent the continent. Thank you.
Wonderful, Olivia. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think we have very diverse panelists, ranging from construction to medical to founders, owners. So I think we are going to have a very interesting discussion. Thanks all for joining. Okay, so let's start with Michelle. Michelle, if you can just tell us that why one should or why the organization should shift to hybrid methodology.
Thank you, Brian. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm coming from a government sector, and we all know for the waterfall is more a structured and planned methodology. But after COVID has happened, we have shifted to more flexibility and adaptability work methodology. So the reason why we have shifted from my personal experience is we need to evolve with our stakeholders' needs, especially when I'm in the health sector across the government. We do need to do iteration on product testing to make sure the patient safety and there is no cybersecurity concern on patient information. So that's when the agile needs to come in. And also the constant change requirements. We keep going through the change request. But I have to highlight that even though we are shifting to the hybrid, in my organization now, we still use waterfall to govern because we can't forget without the governance part, especially in the reporting, without the governance part, it's very hard to track the performance of our projects. So reason why we shifted to agile and also keep the traditional is we have to make sure that we meet every stakeholder's requirements. I have stakeholders that only want to see highlight reports with milestones, which is more a waterfall approach. And I want to see the dependencies in the schedule, in the Gantt chart. But I do work with stakeholders that like constant changes. They will always come to me to give me different requirements because the system now is evolving so much and we got so much cyber concerns and AI concerns. So I think in a way that's the reason why we actually shifted to hybrid methodology, just having that combined methodology to meet stakeholders' requirements, to make our teams to adapt to the new world, which is a more digital world. Thank you.
Okay, great. So Michelle, one just follow-up question on what you mentioned, that if stakeholders are changing their requirement, is there a cost involved in that? And how do you handle those additional budget? I mean,
So where I'm working now, we have very structured change of requests, even though we are more leaning towards Asia to try to meet the requirements, but we use a more structured way to go through the governance. We have a very rigid change of request. And then throughout the past few years, I've noticed in the government sector, it's still very hard to fully transit to the hybrid because the project teams now expect to have a hybrid methodology and expect my team, which is project management office, to adapt their constant changes. And so I received change requests at least 50 of them over a month as I oversee more than 120 ICT projects. So I really stick to the governance. We're having a very structured hierarchy, terms and reference that help me to meet the clients and stakeholders who are more preferred hybrid methodology.
Okay, great. Makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. Joanna, you want to add something on this?
Yes, I think that what we are missing sometimes is that in the waterfall project management, we have agility built from the scratch because it was the interactive part as well. So we are sometimes forgetting that agile is also combined in the waterfall as well. That's why hybrid methodologies are from, let's say, from forever, we have the project management. And this is something that appeals to me, that thanks to hybrid methodologies, we are taking the best from both of them. Because in agile methodologies, for C-level, usually there is missing information about the outcomes, planned outcomes, because we are focusing on R&D mostly and on testing. And from the like strict waterfall, there is missing testing and checking the results. So this is something that for me, hybrid methodologies are the best for.
Okay, great. Yeah, moving to Iqbal. Iqbal, how do you ensure now the effective collaboration in a hybrid model, particularly because you are from a very different domain, which is the construction domain, and how does the hybrid works over there, and how do you ensure collaboration during the exam?
Thank you, Brian, for the questions. Okay, ensuring effective collaboration in a hybrid model that combines agile and predictive methodologies can be challenging due to their different approaches. For the construction is a different approach and the IT is a different approach. So, however, with careful planning and alignment, teams can be leverage the strength of both frameworks. So, I can share some strategies here. For example, define clear roles and responsibilities. So, clearly defining roles and responsibilities is key to success of any hybrid projects. So, everyone knows as different methodologies here, so everyone should know their specific duties in both agile and predictive workflows and how their work impacts their bigger picture. So encouraging cross-functional teams where agile and predictive experts collaborate helps bridge gap and enhance teamwork. Okay. Then the establish communication protocols to everyone on aligned schedule regarding check-ins like daily stand-ups or weekly reviews to track progress or discuss challenges and plan next steps. So use communication tools like Slack, Microsoft Teams, and Zoom for real-time collaboration. So make sure everyone is comfortable with those tools with clear set of guidelines for their users. Then another one could be leverage collaborative tools. Use portable tools like Jira, Trello, or Asana to track progress of broad agile sprints and duration timelines. So it helps to keep everyone on the same page. Then obviously foster culture of collaboration, create a work environment where everyone feels comfortable sharing ideas, feedback, and concerns through open discussion and regular check-ins. So strengthen both team bonds with fun team building activities, whether virtual or in person, to bridge gap between agile and productive deliverables. So fostering better collaboration can be a more comfortable workspace for the hybrid methodologies. So obviously, teams should be aligned with the goals and objectives to make sure everyone understand the project goals and works towards a shared vision. So balance priorities by blending agile flexibility with structure planning. Use a backlog for agile success while keeping a clear roadmap for productive milestones. And also need to have a team and training session for the team member to better understand of agile and predictive approaches. Then team should be flexible and adaptable to embrace, to staying open to adjustment as a team learn what works behind in the hybrid model. So it's important to be flexible enough to meet the needs of both agile and productive approaches. So to make collaborative work in hybrid models, focus on open communications. It could be construction or IT projects or any other projects. So flexibility and trust. So encourage adaptability, celebrate achievement, and keep the team connected, ensuring everyone stays engaged and motivated.
That's right.
Thank
I mean, so employee engagement and communication is very important to
Very
ensure effective collaboration. Great. Thanks, Iqbal, for your views. Moving on, Maru, can I ask you a question? What are the sort of key challenges organization face when they are moving towards hybrid, particularly if you're moving from a waterfall and you suddenly start having a hybrid life cycle? Then what are the kind of cultural challenges might be there, and how do you overcome those challenges?
Yes, thank you. Well, I think in general, the challenges are similar than the challenge we face when we are trying to implement a methodology, because we are talking about a human processes, and it's depend of the situation. I am a consultant. My clients are so diverse. Some of them are great companies, automotive companies, tier one in a lot of cases. And when I am working with them, they could be more traditional, and the idea is to give them some values and principles, agile values and principles, and try to flexibilize the way of working. But in other cases, in smaller companies, they don't have some methodology. And in these cases, I try to understand the context, understand the situation, the type of project, and together define the best way to implement a way of work better than they have before. And in these cases, even if I am working with a more traditional or more agile methodology, the real challenge is one, to be the leadership and sponsorship, because it is important. It's a change. It's like a quality implementation. We really need the support of leadership. Other important part is to manage it as a human challenge. That means we need to consider the change management process. That means to explain why we are doing that, which are the benefits, train the people who will work with that. In general, for example, in some automotive or construction companies, they love or sometimes prefer traditional. And the change is the challenge is to explain the benefit of agile, knowing that it's not delivered 2 or 3 weeks, because of course the nature of these kind of projects are more traditional. However, the mentality, the values are the same. For me, the difference is to change from the way in which we manage projects 20 years ago or 10 years ago, and it is the same. If we have the sponsorship, it is easier. The second one to manage implement project with the process the change of people who are involved, because in that cases, for example, the PMO could be a great help if we have a PMO guidelines. I think it could be better and easier.
Right. So I think what you said is that effective communication is very important. You need to continuously tell the teams that what we are trying to achieve, maybe convey the benefits, etc. Right? And tell them that what are the benefits which may arise because of the execution of this hybrid method. And yeah,
Yes.
so those two things I can understand. And yes, obviously leadership needs to be involved continuously and engage with employees, make them feel comfortable, make them ensure them that they should not be scared. No, it's not that they are going to lose a job kind of a thing, but basically make them comfortable, feel comfortable. Great.
Yes, yes, and I think the most important part in each methodology is to obtain value. Business value is the final objective, and we need to send the message that a methodology is a way to do the work easier, faster, to grow with them. It is not the objective, and I think if we are together working for to attain the business objectives, it could be easier to identify the best way to work.
Right. Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Maru, for your view. So coming to Olivia, you are from Africa, and I mean that now technology is a little bit unevenly distributed over there, right? So how can hybrid approaches ensure that now complete stakeholder engagement and participation and even contribution? So how can we ensure that thing? Olivia, if you can share your views on that.
Okay, thank you. That's a very good question, and it's very relevant and pertinent. I think as a project manager, when you're a project manager in Africa, in all the 55 nations and countries on the continent, one thing that connects us all, the project managers here on the ground, and probably with other countries in the Southern Hemisphere, is the fact that we have a global mindset, because we went through the whole Project Management Institute certifications, but we have local realities. So you really have to think in entrepreneurship. They say be global, right? Have global enterprises, but project managers too, we have to be global. So we have to think global, but also act with local realities. And so I love what Jeff Bezos from Amazon, he says, be stubborn with your vision, but flexible on the details. So since I've been a lot in development projects, right? Projects by development partners, and projects on maybe building entrepreneurship on the ground, starting the ecosystem of businesses, tech innovators, and digital talents, for example. I've seen that the differences between the expectations. And so we end up being kind of like translators when we are project managers on the ground, merging that hybrid methodology. We have to, because our environments are inherently VUCA environments, right? They are volatile when you have to work between the donors who are expecting a certain amount of security, of transparency, of frequency in the results. But on the other hand, you are maybe with people who, I'm lucky. I'm like, thank God that the internet not just internet, I'm using Starlink, but that the electricity is being stable right now as we are happy, as we are doing this, right? So we have those local realities, and the project manager has to come now and be a translator. Even if you're speaking the same language, English, we might not be speaking the same technical language. And so we take the data from those who are not perhaps able to meet the level of requirements, of expectations, of reporting, of delivery. We take that and we translate it so that the funders, the development agencies, those who are at the global stage, they can understand it at the rhythm they want, at the time they want, at the speed they want, while allowing those who have those local realities to deliver the results, but perhaps not in the same language as the other. So we end up being translators essentially when we are project managers on the ground, especially in with the local realities that we have. But we have to translate that into global standards, into global expectations. So we dance. I think that's what the dance that we have to do, and the importance of project managers in these kind of settings and in this kind of markets. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so I think there are some questions also from the audience. So we'll also try to see if we can get some answer on this. So Ricardo Cavalcanti has asked that which tools you consider as a good option to manage hybrid projects. So anyone wants to go on this? Michelle, Maru, Iqbal. Which are the good tools can be used for the hybrid project management?
I'm happy to answer this one. From my personal experience,
Yeah.
I don't think there is a right one. You have to work with the customers and see the complexity of the projects you are running, also the organizational cultures to find which one is the best suited one. My organization, in my team, we designed our system from the scratch. So we collect the requirements from our project program offices. And then throughout, it's been over 4 years, but we use agile approach. We're still refining the requirements every month through the reviews with the vendors. And now recently we added more fields in the system to capture data to make sure we have structured governance around our data for our projects and programs. So from experience, you really have to deep dive into what your stakeholders are expected from your projects, what they want to see, and how you report, and to find a sorted system, or even you can integrate multiple systems as long as it suits the organizational purpose and cultures.
Right, great. Yeah, so I also like to share that now on this point is that we are using the same traditional tool which we are using it, which is, I'll say, a local tool, one of the local tool which is there. But we put the requirement in such a manner that now in whatever the delivery is there, we just put those items into that tool, and that is how we try to address it, although it might be a hybrid project management. Yeah, so that is what. Anyone else wants to comment on this?
I would like to share about that. Sorry, thank you. Okay, quickly. I think it's important to define a set of tools because there are a lot of tools. When I obtained the certification, the business analysis certification, I need to go to learn more than 100 of tools. I think it's important to define a small set of tools depending of the situation of the project, the company. For example, in the case of manage activities and a timeline. If we in automotive and construction industries, in my experience, my clients love schedules in Microsoft project, imagine, and it's okay, with a lot of roles and activities, in some cases some hundreds of activities. But if they have know how to do that, if their teams and their clients use that, it's important to consider it. But if we are talking with a construction company and they want to manage a small project, in that case, if a small project not as difficult, they could consider a Kanban panel in order to manage this small and easier project. And for this company, to have these tools could be enough in order to manage their task and roles and responsibilities. And I think it's important to define a small set of options in order to be this easier, because in that case, the PMO could define it according to the type of project they used to manage, and be sure that people know how to use these tools. Because I have seen a lot of cases in which companies have a lot of tools, some of them expensive, and nobody know how to do that, how to use it.
So maybe Maru, you should publish a blog if you've not done it, okay, on various tools and how to use it, and which can be beneficial. So yeah, that will be great. Okay. So moving on, maybe I'd like to ask Joanna. So how should leadership adopt to support sort of a hybrid methodology? Can you share some views on that, Joanna?
Yes, sure. Actually, I had a pleasure and still have to work with the all continents and different cultures.
Oh.
And there is the one issue in every project and change management and so on. It's usually leadership. Whenever we have the surveys, there is that we have great projects, we have great ideas, but then leadership does not support us, and then we fail. So this is the main thing, that leadership, especially board management, needs to understand the change, needs to be on our side and support it. So it's like going from up to the bottom. So this is the biggest support that we need. So the competences and the knowledge building and so on, we should start from the leadership. And then we will succeed as one team. Otherwise, it's like fighting with each other and not understanding and not talking the same language. So this is like the biggest topic.
Okay, great. Okay, moving on, Iqbal, just like to know that how does a hybrid approach now impact risk management? I mean, does it increase the risk or decrease the risk? And if you can give some example, that will be great. Iqbal.
Yeah, obviously, as hybrid management is like the approach where is traditional and agile methodologies coming up together. So some sort of risks should be there. So to mitigate those risks, early adoption of early identifications is very important. So it means spotting potential problems before they blow up. Okay. So in hybrid bottom approach, the predictive phase can teams plan ahead and flag risks with budget overruns and scope creep. And Agile then keeps an eye on these risks during execution, allowing teams to adapt and address issues quickly. Then teams should be flexible to adapt those risks. So it means that being ready to adjust when challenges arise. Okay, so during this practice, for example, in construction practice for projects, when team should be aligned with the risks when it's come up. So hybrid project model, agility approach allows teams to address risks dramatically during sprints and making quick changes without dealing progress. And meanwhile, predictive planning should be provide a solid foundation, ensuring the overall project stays aligned in the goals. Okay, so to mitigate risk, balanced documentation should be there. So it means finding the sweet spot between too much and too little. Predictive methods provide detailed plan and records, ensuring the clarity and accountability. So, and Agile keeps the things like focus on necessary to stay flexible. So together they ensure teams have enough guidance without getting bogged down to paperwork and making it easier to adopt while still keeping everyone on the same page. And obviously, regular checkpoints for the risk reviews by incorporating regular checkpoints for risk reviews, both high-level predictive milestones and detailed agile ceremonies work together to spot risks early. So this approach keeps the project on track, allowing the team to tackle issues proactively to stay ahead and preventing any surprises that could be real progress and success. So
Yeah.
yes, a hybrid approach makes risk management easier by combining planning, flexibility, regular checking, helping teams stay ahead with adjust quickly.
So there is a other question from audience, which is relevant to this only risk management. That whether this risk management or mitigation will be costly compared to a traditional one because it
Yes,
requires more
yes.
efforts.
Yeah. While hybrid project management methods offer a super risk mitigation by combining predictive planning and agile flexibility, it can be more costly due to the need of experts in both areas. Okay.
Okay.
So, for example, in construction project, having both a traditional project manager and agile coach ensure the risks are proactively addressed. So, when a construction project they're doing project in a predictive manner, they don't need to hire the agile coaches in their projects. But when they want to implement in a hybrid way, so they need to employ agile courses for this delivery. So yes, it will be upfront some cost will be there, but invest, but in engaging the both, though it's cost here, but this could be mitigated through this practice.
Okay. So Udam Singh, hope that answers your question. Yeah, moving on, Olivia, I would like to ask you that how can hybrid methodologies can be used to address the climate change related no, requirement, okay, or I'll say that adaptation and resilience, no, and which requires a rapid response and flexible implementation. So can you maybe throw some light on that?
Okay, thank you. So the hybrid methodology for climate change kind of situations, if I could say, if you notice, if you speak about climate change, inherently, you need to adapt and to be agile when it comes to like climate change questions. For example, you may have 20 acres of land in one village, because I those are the projects I work with. 20 acres of land that you want to grow plantains or cassava, right, in one village. And with climate change, the seasons are switching to and are changing. So you don't know if this year the rainy season will start on the 1st of March precisely or not. And just the change in the predictability of when the season starts can cost you like a whole like set batch of crops. And so there's a project like that I was evaluating last week. So these are like real cases. So the rainy season this year may come the 15th of March, and so you need agility, flexibility, adaptability to make sure that the plan that you had made on, you see, here's the calendar of when I'll be doing my 20 acres of plantains. It would start usually every year. The rainy season starts on the 15th of March. So I've done this like plan driven. I've said I'm going to start my agriculture farm in the 15th of March. If you have no agility, no adaptability, you will mess up and you can lose a whole set of crops, because
Right.
this year, for example, the seasons have been very flaky, right? You have 5 days of rain here, then dryness, then you have like 1 month of dryness again, then you have like 3 days of rain again. So I'm giving some everyday concrete examples so we can see how in this particular example of climate change, um, by essence is very agile, and so you have to adapt to the circumstances and be flexible. But also, you should not also miss all the whole risk management planning that you have with waterfall and predictive approach. You should not miss the whole planning, how you will manage your stakeholders, right, in the waterfall approach. You should not miss even on the robust cost management planning that you have in the waterfall approach. So in this kind of field, it's so essential to integrate the solid foundational waterfall kind of methodology, but also create room to adapt, to adjust, to be quick in responding, right? Be quick in your response based on the data you have in front of you. So I think hybrid is absolutely essential when it comes to issues of climate change. Yeah, it makes a huge difference in your revenue, your economy, and in economic resilience, essentially.
Great. So I think it's very insightful to hear from you about the climate impact which you are noticing and the kind of the results it can cause. I mean, now, so it's really interesting. Great. So moving on, maybe I'll ask Michelle that if you want to combine this hybrid methodology, right, then which features or what aspects of this traditional and agile methodology should be retained, okay, without compromising on the delivery requirement? Okay, so if you can share some views, Michelle.
I know we have been talking about risk management here. Apparently, there's some concerns about the cost when you use a hybrid methodology. And I could say what should retain is really the waterfall structured methodology. When I was doing project management at the very beginning of my career, I was told you could have flexibility and agility, but you also need to have a structure around it so you don't go over your tolerances. So to me, the structure of planning ahead, identify your risks. That's very important to me to retain from the waterfall methodology perspective. But then from the agility perspective, think about your stakeholders, their satisfaction. How do you going to measure it? How do you report your projects? If they require different, like we do lots of briefing. If your stakeholders this month require different tracking to see the progress of your project, then how do you adapt to that? So to me, adaptability and agility from Asia is definitely to be retained. And talking about risk as example, when you plan ahead from an agility perspective, then you can just review, you mitigate your risk throughout your project. And that's when you have to maintain your adaptability from the agile methodology perspective.
Interesting. Interesting. And okay, so there is one question from the audience, and maybe I'll ask Joanna to answer that. And that is, how can one smoothly migrate from traditional or agile methodology to a hybrid methodology? What can be a sort of a transition route? I mean, if you can just throw some light. This question is asked by Eric Njande. So, Joanna, can you please take up this question?
Sorry, could you repeat? I lost you for a moment, just for a few seconds.
Yeah, so how can we smoothly migrate from traditional methodology to hybrid methodology?
Yes, sure. So first of all, treat it as a project. So we need to know our why we want the change. If we don't have our why, maybe we should keep the things way we are doing. Then if we know why, we need to have the acceptance criteria. So what we want to have changed, what are the pains and what we want to gain. If we know that, then we can have our low-hanging fruits. So starting with the quick wins means that we would also show the benefits of that. For example, in one of PMOs I was creating, one of the issue was that we needed to have the quick improvements because within the company there was a need to have the savings, like money savings. So it means that we needed to start with those issues and we made them agile. So we were having the very fast increments and then we are delivering one by one. And then in the meantime, we could we spend the time to find out what we can do with the longer perspective. And then this is the good way to start, as within a project.
Good, great. Moving on, maybe quickly, I'll just, because we are running short of time, so I'll just move to Maru. Maru, if you can just tell us what is the biggest misconception about hybrid project management and how do we debunk them?
Excellent, thank you. It's a great question, because in some cases people are so focused in methodology, and I think it's important, but it's not, as I mentioned before, it's not the final objective. I think people think it's half and half, and it's not the case. I think it's the most important part. Even in my earliest experience in project management some years ago, I was working with Jordan methodology. Probably some of you are heard about this, but it was so strict and traditional. And even in that moment, I tried to understand the situation and select the best way in which you could obtain your objectives. And I think it's a great misunderstanding. Other situation I have heard or seen is related with the idea of, if we have some training, the project managers or teams will work together and define the best way to do that. I think in that cases, it's not only a good will to improve our job, our project management duties. I think it could be an option, but is in general not the best option. I think the company should define this, as we heard before, as a project. It's important to have the leadership, the sponsorship, and do the step by step. And other thing is thinking that with a lot of options, people will do the work better. And I think it could be confusing. I think if we have less options, only the ones the people need to work better, it's enough. And it's not necessarily the best methodology, the one who has a lot of options, because it could generate some confusion.
Great, thank you, Maru. Moving on, maybe I'll ask Iqbal if you can just throw some light about how to align hybrid methodologies with client and stakeholder expectation. Iqbal. How do we align hybrid methodologies with client and stakeholder expectations?
Okay. Sorry, I was in mute. Okay. Yeah. So aligning hybrid methodologies with client and stakeholder expectation is crucial for project success. So it helps minimize conflict and bolster stakeholder satisfactions. So at first, there is some strategy should be taken. For example, understanding stakeholder expectation from the first. So understanding stakeholder expectation right from the beginning is crucial for the project success, definitely in the hybrid manner. So engaging stakeholder early on allows us to identify their needs, priorities, and concerns. And by maintaining clear communication, we can align project goals and secure their buying and set realistic expectation. So this strong foundation not only focus collaboration, but also prevent misunderstanding and guides our decision making throughout the projects. So second strategy could be segment the project into predictable and flexible components. So we need to segmenting a project into predictable and flexible components. It's all about understanding the nature of the task involved. Predictable tasks like obtaining regularity of approvals in construction, on defining system architecture in IT, follow a clear and structured path that we can plan for. And on the other hand, flexible tasks like such as making design adjustment or incorporating user feedback allows us to more iterative and adaptive manner. So then another strategy could be like establish clear communication and feedback mechanism. So to ensure everyone stays on the same page, it is important to establish a clear communications. I use tools like Slack for quick messaging or Zoom for regular updates. So schedule consistent meetings to share updates and gather feedback, making sure that document key decisions or insights. So visual dashboard can be a good help to track the progress and everyone aligned. I can say align the change management risk handling. So aligning risk management and risk handling with a hybrid approach means combining both best of both worlds. So for predictable risks, stick to the traditional methods, and for the unexpected, evaluating challenges, stay flexible and adapt. This way, we can respond to changes effectively, keeping the project on track and stakeholders happy. So, by customizing the hybrid approach to fit the specific needs, we should focus on the specific need of the project and the expectation of the stakeholders. An organization can deliver value more efficiently than staying flexible to changes.
Okay, wonderful. Great insight. So my last question to Olivia. Hi, Olivia. So I just wanted to know that now, see, particularly you're working in Cameroon, and obviously there will be a lot of international donors will be there. So when you are doing the kind of this hybrid project, I mean, hybrid project does not means that now you will have a complete documentation at that point of time, right? It might be just in time documentation. So how do you meet this now flexibility of hybrid methodology with the requirement of international donors or maybe international um, uh, sponsors now about this requirement? If you can throw some light.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Because you do, as I said, constantly have to translate the two worlds. And I think one of the key things that helps in managing those stakeholders who are donors, they put so many millions, maybe on $1 million on the project, and they expect a certain amount of results, a certain quality of results. And the locals who don't really know all the jargons of the donors and all the expectations. I think one thing that helps, that's key, is managing expectations from the get-go. And that expectation management, it does a huge, it makes a huge difference. So I know that many people, when they think about agile methodology, they just think IT, tech. The thing is just chaotic. You just design whatever you want to design. Today you start a scrum, tomorrow you start an iteration, in 1 week you start something else. And so when you start speaking about agile, adaptive, those who are in the predictive, a lot of governments and international organizations inherently are very predictive, because they vote for budgets early on. For example, a government like the EU already has decided the things they're going to finance in 2026, 2027, 2028. They already have a 3-year plan, right? Because they have to bring it to their government budget, have it approved, have it financed. So a lot of these donor funds are essentially very predictive, and they come up with projects that they want you to execute, even if the project was designed. I remember there's a project I worked on. It was designed in 2019 with all the logical frameworks, with all the indicators, with all the KPIs. 2020 happened. They got financed. The financing came in 2021, but we were still held accountable for the indicators that were designed in 2019 when that project was developed. So you do have to, speak to the donors and say, hey, based on the data, if you come back even to that climate project of agriculture in like a village, and there's the shifting seasons, you can say, based on the data, we have to adjust, we have to be agile in this part. But the robustness of the predictive approach, we will use it, for example, to prepare the land, to build the infrastructure, to prepare the soil, to do maybe all the irrigation systems. We will have all that set up ahead of time. And let's try to be agile in maybe the planting of the seeds or the harvesting time. So you combine the two methodologies, and you're hybrid. So respecting the whole, they want to make sure that the infrastructure is set in place. They want to make sure that you have a schedule in plan, that their money is not used just anyhow, but have the approval. And so that also comes with a lot of communication. If you have a weekly communication, you communicate weekly with data, with information, and they can adapt, and they're very flexible when you give them data and you give them information on the ground.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Great. So I think there was one more question from the audience, that now most of the IT projects are now implemented in the agile way. So under which circumstances a hybrid methodology will be adopted? So I just like to add over here, because I do this digital transformation projects. So yeah, I mean, I understand that most of the projects are being done in the agile manner, but again, I mean, to be called as a true agile is difficult. Okay, most of these projects are a little bit hybrid, in the sense that now you take a liberty and here and there. So it is, to some extent, it is I'll say a hybrid only, and very few companies do in a pure agile manner, because there is a cost involved in doing in the project in an agile manner. But when you are doing the hybrid agile, maybe you might take some liberty and do it in other way. So maybe if anyone has any view on this particular point, then maybe they can share light. Joanna, Maru, or Michelle.
Yes, I'd like to add to everything you just said. It was a great point. So, because I work in the government, it really depends on the complexity and regulation. We have very strict regulations to meet. So there was no chance for us to go purely agile. We actually still need to use the traditional waterfall to govern this agile approach. And apart from that, so our systems, like not long ago, we had a cyber attack on our medical system. And in that case, we really had to go agile and reply really quickly. And we also work on some really large program that oversee multiple hospitals. So the complexity, if you are doing a program or projects that involve different projects from different teams, then you have dependencies. And that's when you really need to use agile. It's how to purely use waterfall agile. It has to be mixed, and you have no choice.
Okay, great. I think we had a very wonderful discussion, and a lot of insights from different industry. And I think a lot of learning from our audience. Maybe I'll ask you your final thoughts to each of the panelists. Maybe we'll start with Iqbal. What are your final thoughts on hybrid methodology? If you can just summarize.
So yes, I think one core to implement hybrid methodology is no doubt it will help the projects to be successful. But we need to be know the stakeholder expectation first. Okay, then obviously team should have their own responsibility. They know very well. They know their responsibility very well. And obviously, there is posture of collaboration should be there to ensure the alignment of the team and the deliverables.
Okay, great. Joanna, you want to share your final thoughts?
Yes, thank you. The final thing that I think that we sometimes are missing, that to have the best hybrid methodology built for our organization and company is the knowledge that we need to gain, because better we know, more methodologies, standards, and so on we know, then we could use them. This is what Discipline Agile, for example, we're saying that choose your way of working, and the same with hybrid. More you know, more different approaches you know, then you can choose the best way of working for you.
Okay, great. So more you know, more you can implement, more you can try. Okay, great. Maru, you want to add something on this?
Yes, it's interesting how we are sharing the same preoccupations, the same interests around the world, and I think agile and traditional approaches are looking for an answer to the competitiveness needs we have all around the world. The most important part of project is generate value, business value. And I think we should understand that and work together with our teams to look for the best way to do that. Because at the end, the final user, the directives, our clients are looking for results, not methodologies. And I think this kind of spaces, learning spaces, help us to understand it better and learn from others. Thank you.
Very good, wonderful. Olivia, final thoughts?
Yes, I think I will combine what Joanna said and what Maru said. The more you know, the more you can use. You know, you have toolbox. Your toolbox is full of different things you can take here and there. And also, people don't know what are the methodologies. That's absolutely true. So we adjust to bring value. So perhaps I will transform the quote of Jeff Bezos. Instead of be stubborn with your vision.
Looks we lost Olivia. Maybe a power problem or internet connectivity problem. Hello, Olivia, are you there? I think we lost her. Maybe Michelle, you want to say final thoughts on this?
I think I'd like to continue what Olivia might want to say. It's you do use different methodologies as tools. You just keep trying, and then if you can find the perfect one, you can always have a one of your own. That's why we have so many of them out there. Eventually, you can be the master of your methodology as long as you can deliver projects. Your stakeholders are happy, and that's worth it.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. Olivia, are you back? Okay, I then don't think so. Okay, so basically, yes, we had very interesting discussion, very wonderful insights, and some of the things which I can just relate or maybe I can summarize. One is that in the medical, what Michelle mentioned is that yes, there's a lot of change requests which comes in the hybrid methodology, but still there is a lot of governance which ensures that strong governance which is there, which ensures that the cost is under control. Iqbal mentioned that yes, there is a lot of risk involved in it. A lot of I'll say efficient communication is required, collaboration is required among a client and stakeholders, and risk management can be costlier one, but yeah, I mean it is worth it. I mean that is what I mentioned. Joanna Maru mentioned that yes, more you learn, more you use the technology, more you use the methodology, more you learn, and maybe more you can do a pick and choose and try to not deliver the business value at the earliest, or maybe in an incremental manner, so that it helps a customer, right? And I think Olivia, are you there? Olivia, we had just lost you. Are you back?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you
I
can
don't know
just
how you
complete.
lost me.
Yeah, you can just
Yes.
complete.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it wasn't complete. Okay, sorry. So actually the rain started falling. Maybe I spoke too much about rain. It started falling and then my started
Great.
shaking. But I was saying I was combining what Joanna said and what Maru said, having a toolbox with a lot of things you can pick up from. And Maru was saying people don't know what are all these methodologies, so drive value. And I was saying that I was going to adjust Jeff Bezos' quote instead of saying be stubborn with your vision and flexible with the details. I would say be stubborn with driving value and flexible in the way you will do it. So yes, yeah, those two. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Great. Thank you, Olivia, and thank you, everyone. So over to you, Priscilla or Ahmed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Biren. Thank you so much. That was really a excellent exchange of thoughts. We got to hear from people from Australia, from Cameroon, and Bangladesh, Taiwan, Poland. So all of them. A special mention about Michelle. I think she's. We are all in Saturday. We are all in Friday. She's already in Saturday. 3 hours past midnight. Thank you, Michelle, for staying awake and
Thank you
helping
for
us.
having me.
Thank you so much for being among us today again for the second time. Thank you. Thank you, Iqbal. I know it's a difficult evening after a long fast, but you helped us and made this possible. Thank you, Joanne, Maru, and Olivia for all the support that you have showed today. And I think we'll move on to the next part of the segment. Thank you all. And because we are a little behind time, so we will quickly rush through it. Thank you, Biren.
Yeah, thanks.
Share
over to you.
screen. Okay, window.
Yeah, we have wonderful 323 attendees over here, and I really appreciate them to be here for so long. Thank you very much.
Yes, there are 370 plus members from 43 different countries. So, Tao, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah. So, Tao, you
Okay,
want
so
to take it
yeah,
forward?
doing the outro here. So just very fast, very quick one. And the most thing Baron I remembered on his slide, the one little quote finally says that cost of error and reward to be considered in any methodologies. And this is very important because when people always say, "Oh, I'm very into the agile," and my clients says, we want agile in our work environments." But they always forget that when you have lesson learned, when you have everything, you have documentation, you have everything, you have something, you have any trace of proof back there. You should go back to the waterfall. So it's really hybrid. When you think you use hybrid to explore something, you have to cover when you find this familiar project, you have to go back to the waterfall. So that's really hybrid spirit working. I mean, so just don't get into the agile too much and think back to the waterfall and think back what you can do with waterfalls. And for the PMI Belgians highlights, they have 800 people members. And the most thing I remember is the more, which is manage knowledge, create opportunity, build relationship, and embrace your potential. And this is very important. And we should go back to adapt in our own chapter, in Taiwan chapter as well. So don't forget that that's the very very memorable experience, and just keep me relaxed. And for the acronym, and for the first one is harness, the hybrid. The first one is harness, which is capture the utility resources effectively. Yield is generate positive outcome and returns. Don't forget to balance, maintain the equivalence and stabilities, and always respond to your feedback. Integrate combined elements into the cohesive whole. And the most important thing, please don't forget to ensure successful execution and deliver your value. So that's the whole point of the project, and that's my outro. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Tao. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next part of this session. So today we have Heng Cheng, and his quote for the day is increasing project complexity requires flexibility. I don't know how many times I heard flexibility in the last panel discussion. Flexibility is the key thing for project complexity. A few minutes ago, we heard that laughter is also one of them. So whenever I meet Heng Sheng, maybe I'd like to ask him, when he talks about flexibility, does it also means yoga, or is it only other flexibilities? Thank you, Heng Sheng, for your quote. Today, the exchange effect is we had 376 attendees, and we had a registration of 1,346 members from 43 different countries. So thank you, participants. Thank you so much for making our event more popular within your chapter and also among your friends and colleagues. So we most of the time we see more than 25% of our members are non-chapter members. So it is also helping us to take this take PMI beyond the PMI members. So this is another advantage of the chapter exchange program. Do I have Renga? Renga, you want to speak about this?
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all panelists and attendants. And Sunil, thank you so much, Sunil and Amod, for helping as team admin in making this event smooth as ever. This is a feedback form. Yeah, you can share your feedback by scanning this QR, or and all attendants will get the PDO code in the next slide. You can scan this QR code and get the PDU. Otherwise, you will get that email after a few hours to your register email ID.
Thank you, Renga. Thank you so much. So Ranga has been one of our key members in making these things possible. He has been the backbone of our chapter. So going to the next slide where we have the PDF codes. Can I ask somebody to paste the PDF codes in the chat window? PDF code. You'll also receive an email with this PDF code for all those who have attended. The next slide is far more important. This is about the next event that we are planning. Establish a value management office. So here it's on 18th of April 2025 around the same time, and we have 6 panelists again providing their ideas, their thoughts about this topic to the rest of our team. So I want some of you to scan this QR code and register for this event. I think with that, we come to the end of our segment. And as a token of appreciation, the PMI Mumbai chapter would like to share a certificate with all our panelists and speakers. So we request you to accept that certificate and post it on your LinkedIn or social media handle, so as to make this event more and more popular within your network. With that, we close this event, and do share your feedbacks and help us improve this at every level. Thank you all, and have a very good evening.
Thank you all. Bye. Have a good day.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ha 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 ha. Don't forget.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.